Hello and welcome to 3.0 TV. I am Vishakha Thakur. Metaverse is an inevitable digital evolution of the century and one that is rapidly becoming reality. Although it's in its infancy, the metaverse may soon transform our economies, our lifestyles, and our places of work. So, as we dive deep, the metaverse is reshaping the entertainment industry from video games to cinemas and from fashion to theme parks. It is all virtual reality, which is at the helm of what we call the immersive experience, metaverse. So, to discuss all about the entertainment industry and metaverse, we have invited the Chief Business Officer of P2E Pro, Srishti Asudani. Welcome to 3.0 TV.
Thank you. Thank you, Vishakha. Thank you so much for having us.
It's a pleasure to have you, ma'am. So, global metaverse in entertainment market is forecast to grow by $33.32 million by 2027. Your opening remarks on metaverse and its potential in the entertainment industry.
Vishaka, what I feel is that the global metaverse in the entertainment industry, like you've mentioned, is having a huge potential with respect to the market cap that it can contribute to, whether that would be in film production or in OTT platforms or in music labels, any kind of broadcasting. So it has huge potential. Essentially, what we foresee is that the entertainment industry would undergo a huge transmutation with respect to how the content is created, one, and how the engagement is done with the audiences. So I think the underlying principles that the industry is evolving to is essentially that there needs to be an engagement with the fans and the storytelling which is happening either in a 2D mode. Of course, there's being work done in the virtual reality, but it needs to be more immersive, where
True.
it can be actually an accessible universe that we can create for the entertainment industry. And there's a lot of contribution of technology in this to actually augment this and get this into reality, where there is of course the technologies like AR, VR, XR, MR, but the 5G computing part of it, the storage part of it, and also the identity which would come with the blockchain. So I feel that this is like a new revolution happening in the entertainment, and this is going to be having huge potential going ahead.
So, since you spoke about accessibility, would we see mass adoption of metaverse and entertainment, like especially with prices of VR glasses still being too high for an average consumer? The Meta launched Oculus Quest Pro, and it costs around $1,500. So,
yeah. So essentially, of course, the goal of any of the technology, even when we know the potential of it, is only when we can reach to the masses, we can reach to the end consumers. And what we need to understand, which is like a very good sign and a good point, is that the audience is actually ready for this immersive tech, and 70% of them actually want to spend time in the metaverse in the next 2 to 5 years, and that also not from non-gaming environments, because that is essentially a tie-up that people would be spending time in metaverse more in the gaming environment.
True.
So that's a very positive sign, one. And secondly, specifically in the media and entertainment, nearly around 54% of the end users are wanting to engage in the metaverse environment. So this is again as per one of the Accenture studies. So again, coming to the question of mass adoption and the headgear cost, I think that's of course a bottleneck which the industry is facing. And we at P2E Pro have actually launched our own lab, which is based in Hyderabad, and we are working towards launching our 3DOF VR headset, which is going to be based on a custom OS and would be enabling the virtual streaming on the VR cloud streaming. So we are working towards making it sleek and ergonomic, and using deep technologies like pancake lens as the optic technology. So we want to eliminate the dependency that we are having on high compute, and also on the fact that headgear needs to be available to people at a reduced cost.
Correct.
Without compromising the photorealistic quality and the experience part of it.
So, with India adopting a hard stance on cryptocurrencies, do you think the world's second biggest democracy is a conducive place for the growth of metaverse? Of course, in contrast to countries such as Dubai, which has its own metaverse strategy going on, or Germany or the US.
Right. So, you see, we need to understand a couple of things here, Vishaka. So, of course, Dubai has its own para regulations, which is virtual asset regulations, and regulations are quite streamlined in other countries in Europe. And USA is also working towards it, with the Crypto Council paying a huge impact in formulating these frameworks industry wide. And we are all aware of the stance that India has on cryptocurrency. And again, that's based on multiple angles, which are actually important considerations, considering the economy, considering the user base. So, what I feel is for metaverse, of course, India would definitely be a good market, because we need to realize that metaverse is as an experience of the internet, which can be, on blockchain or without blockchain. That's one part of it. And even on the blockchain, there's a lot of evolution which is happening, where we can create experiences without involving tokenomics part of it. So this is again one area that we are actually working at. And we are going to launch our own hybrid captive blockchain, which would be a RegTech blockchain, legally compliant as per Indian laws, and solving for the potential gaps that are currently in place for metaverse. And also, the any kind of payment would be done through fiat. So essentially, what I'm saying is that the potential in India is huge. More so because, like you say, it's the biggest democracy, but also that's not the only thing. The user base is phenomenal here, whether it's the gaming users, it's the Gen Z or Gen Alpha. And metaverse is actually unstoppable. It's another universe which people would have to evolve to. Like, you talk about the 1990s, Zoom call would have been unimaginable. I think 5 years down the line, everybody, whether it's an enterprise or it's an end user, would have a presence in the metaverse.
So your company P2E Pro is a Web 3.0 deep tech company driving a positive social change. Can you share details on user base, projects, and some other commercial data on your project, of course, including the investments and tie-ups?
Right. I think at this stage, what I can share is that we are essentially a deep tech platform, like you mentioned, and we are trying to make it very easy for users to adopt to complex technologies like metaverse and blockchain. So we are trying to make it and simplify it easy for the end users. Our focus, we are making India, and our focus is having an impact in India, making the technology accessible to India. One of the projects that we're working on is creating an infrastructure, providing an infrastructure for the Indian ecosystem to enter the metaverse, enter the Mayaverse, where you can host your metaverses, you can exchange, you can build a community, you can host a franchisee, and all in a Indian, ecosystem, compliant, safe, coherent, abided by regulations, governed by a DAO. Which would be a legally compliant DAO. So these are some of the projects that we're doing, and we're wanting to enable a creator economy here, where it becomes very easy for you to create your content, be present in the next iteration of the World Wide Web, and also have a control on the IP that you're creating.
So since you are an early adopter, so what do you think are the advantages for the early adopters of Metaverse?
I think with like any other technology, where whether it's a cloud computing or it's a quantum computing or the new models of AI which are coming, similar is metaverse and blockchain. So I think the advantages inherently remain the same, that we get to understand the technology more closely. And what is important with any new technology which is coming is the education, the awareness, and then the third part is the impact that it can create. So once you're an early adopter, you understand the technology very well, you get your ecosystem adopted to it, because it's not about one stakeholder here, right? Well, if it's an enterprise or if it's a user, it's the entire ecosystem that needs to adopt to it and actually use it. Because it would become beneficial only when we engage with the technology, we use it in our daily lives, and we benefit from it. So as an early adopter, you don't miss out on the changes that are happening. You're able to contribute, and of course have an extended advantage with respect to your business models, as well as even the impacts that would come to the top lines.
So, tech giants are embracing metaverse, such as Microsoft or Meta, Apple, but now they're shifting their focus to AI. So, what do you have to say about that?
I just have to say one thing. I mean, like, just as a starting point, that in 2021, everyone was talking about metaverse. And right now, it's all about AI, AI generative AI hype, which is happening, and everyone around is getting crazy with Chat GTP, and you read articles daily on how
Correct. Like Kia
AI
and
can
Fiat are
disrupt.
coming with the Chat GPT integrated metaverse where we can buy cars in
Mm, mm.
metaverse.
Yeah, so there are many areas actually how AI can help. So you can have your avatars using AI, where they'll be simulated for certain questions. You can have your digital twins using AI. You can have the chatbots enabled. So there are many ways that AI can actually be used in metaverse, and so that's the actual advantage that would come. It's going to be more adaptive based on the ML models that would be deployed, and of course it will also make the user experience more inclusive, with the use of NLPs in being implemented in the metaverse.
So I keep reading various reports. Like today itself, I read a report by Bloomberg Intelligence, and it
Hmm.
said that Metaverse is going to be worth $615 billion of market opportunity by 2030. So there are several
Hmm.
reports coming up where say that they say that trillions of dollars of market opportunity. So what are your views on this? Like what impact is
My
it going
views
to have
are,
on the economy?
yeah. So we really need to understand that, and going back from history and data, that how the internet actually evolved. You'll be aware of that. We came with Netscape, IE, how from a static we moved to dynamic, and now with social, and now we're moving into an immersive Web3. So metaverse, of course, is a terminology which is being used for the Web3 or the next iteration of the internet, and it's being touted as a big trillion-dollar economy, trillion-dollar opportunity, because of the advantages that it will give going ahead, because of the immersive environments, the engaging environments. So I completely endorse that it's a huge market, and all of us have to play our part in contributing to the commerce which was going to happen in the metaverse going ahead.
So what do you think? Is the future of Metaverse bright?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think it's going to be the next big thing. It's a change which is emerging, evolving, and people are really working on making it impactful, so that what we are the there's one part which is the infrastructure, but there are also other angles of it, whether it's the computing, whether it's the hardware, and like you mentioned, all big players, even other enterprises are working towards making this whole sustainable, and so that the impact to either business models or end consumers can be phenomenal.
All right. So thank you so much for being on 3.0 TV, ma'am, and sharing your views and knowledge with our viewers. It was really great having you on the show.
Thank you so much, Vishaka.
Thank you, ma'am. So this was Srishti Asudani, Chief Business Officer of P2E Pro. She shared insights on the future of the entertainment industry in Metaverse. Keep watching 3.0 TV for more such interviews. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. And for instant updates, do press the bell icon. This is me, Vishakha Thakur, signing off.